Hold on.
What?
Our day is not over just yet.
Woohoo! USA! USA!
We have an action-packed hour for you 6 p.m. drivers.
Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy, both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me.
Matt Skraby wraps up a full day of live and local sports talk.
And that is the whole problem with aliens. You just can't trust them. Occasionally you meet a nice one, but usually they turn out to be some kind of big lizard.
The Skraby Show starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Hello and welcome into the Skraby Show for July 29th, 2026. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's kind of an impromptu Skraby Show. Usually Chris and I go from 5 to 7, but as you heard earlier, he had to get home unexpectedly. So we're going to have like a free-form Skraby Show tonight. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Padres, and I titled my YouTube today, "It's a Good Thing We Didn't Give Up," because I was ready to give up last week. Not literally give up, because I couldn't with them in the playoff race, but it was not looking good. They have now won 5 straight games, 3 over the Marlins, which, by the way, the Marlins went on, it was a 12-game losing streak. Then they sweep the Phillies, which baseball is so weird. They lose 12 straight games, get swept by the Padres over the weekend, face a team that's very good in the Phillies, and then they sweep the Phillies. So that is strange, but Padres take 3 from the Marlins and take 2 here from the Rockies this week. And I said before the Rockies came in to play that I was a little nervous because the Rockies seem to always play the Padres tough. And, you know, the last couple of years, that hasn't been the case so much. The Padres have been able to take the season series pretty easily the last 2 years. But, man, the Rockies are a bottom-tier baseball team right now. They have some talent that's coming together, but man, it was kind of shocking to see how much they were throwing the ball around yesterday, how many errors they had yesterday. I think they ended up with 4 errors. But the Padres, because I had someone tell me, well, they beat the Rockies. They had to come back and beat the Rockies. I want to see comebacks. I want to see that, because that means that they're feeling good. That means that they're still bought in. That means that this team is still on the up. Now, I said this on Monday. The offense is doing great right now. But is it too late? Because we have a bunch of different schedule scenarios and tiebreaker scenarios that do not go in the Padres' favor. So that is something that you could attribute to too little, too late, because you've put yourself in this spot and you have to hope for things to happen. Now, you can definitely force the issue by being a team that wins a bunch heading down the stretch, but there's still 2 full months of baseball left. And it could go either way. I'm not even going to tell you that I think that this is the team that we're going to get going forward. It could go either way. I told everyone last week, I need to see it for more than just a series, more than just 2 series. I need to see it through this weekend. I'm not saying they have to win every single game, but if they take 3 from the Giants, then I might be putting my toe back in the water. Because before this 5-game winning streak, it was so depressing. And it just switched just like that. And I mean, that is baseball. We've been asking for it all year. We've been talking about when are they going to turn that corner. So I can't officially say the corner has been turned, but I'm feeling good about it. They're still going to need help at the trade deadline. They're still going to be the team with all the rumors around them because they have a lot of good players. But I feel like the last 5 games, and I feel like the next 4 are going to determine, I think it's already been determined that the Padres are going to at least buy here at the trade deadline, but they're going to go for it. And what that looks like, I'm not 100% sure right now. They don't really have the prospect capital to make any big, huge, massive deals, and I don't really even need to the big, huge, massive deal. I don't even really need. I just need guys that are going to help the team. You don't need to bring in Tarek Skubal. You could bring in someone else that is not middle of the road, but pitching well for another team, and they're out of it, and you don't have to give up too much. So I think there's going to be some changes, but I don't know that they're going to be massive changes. And what they're doing with the pitching staff right now by doing, I guess Chris said they're calling it quilting, where they're just quilting it together. I like this. If they could get through the week like this, then go for it. Like, if it's working, then don't change it, because things have not worked for a lot of this year. So once you find something that is working, I think you have to go with it for a little bit. Now, they can't do this for the rest of the year. You cannot be piecing things together between starting pitching and the bullpen for 2 full months. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to work out that way. You can't do that. So they are going to have to trade, and they are going to have to bring in some guys that can start for them. They're going to have to bring in actual starters. And so I think that is what we're going to be looking at. No Tarek Skubals are coming to San Diego. I think. I'm 99.9% sure Tarek Skubal is not going to be a Padre. Let's see. Let's see what's on the chat. I just talked a lot. Trevor, luckily we caught the Marlins when they were on a skid. Hey, I'll agree to that. Callie Prolific says we need to be 9-0 by Sunday. I'm not like I'm not necessarily thinking they need to go 9-0, but hey, I am not going to turn down any win. If they win out the rest of the year, more power to them. But we're a little realistic here. Kyle says, do not trade Mason. And I am with you. John Heyman tweeted a little bit ago. Let me go find that tweet again, because he mentioned something that I'm about to tell you about Mason Miller. But I'm trying to find this tweet on the air. Okay, so he said, Mason Miller closes out the Padres 3-1 win over the Rockies, up to 104 miles per hour, unhittable. And in parentheses, he says, and price would have to be enormous. So, yeah, the price would have to be enormous. And this is what I personally have been saying the whole time. The whole time. It's like, if you get blown away by an offer that you just cannot, and I'll do it again because I do it every time, an offer you can't refuse. If you get one of those, you should take it. But other than something that the media and fans are going to be like, that is the worst trade ever for the other team because they gave up so much, you're going to have to definitely win a trade if you're going to get put Mason Miller into a trade package. But here are the top 5 pitch velocities from today's game. Mason Miller, 103.7. Mason Miller, 103.6. Mason Miller, 103.6. Mason Miller, 103.2. Mason Miller, 103. Those are the top 5 pitches of the game. Here, after that, he threw 102.7, 102.3, 102.3, 102, 101.9. He had a couple 99-mile-an-hour fastballs. Like, what are we doing there? And then he had some sliders. Not the food, but slider pitches. Like, you cannot trade someone who throws 103 plus miles an hour with pinpoint accuracy and expect to find something that's going to be just as good. You're not. You're not going to find something that's just as good. And I'm counting his contract as a part of that because the team control is massive. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. He has been incredible this year. Gets a win last night. I know, kind of right place, right time. But when you're looking at his baseball savant page, this is one of my favorite things to do about Mason Miller, or with Mason Miller, is you look at his baseball savant page. He's got xERA, x batting expected, Expected batting average, fastball velocity, average exit velocity. He is 100, 100, 100, 98, 97, 100 in whiff percent, 100 in K percent. His walk rate is 41, so it's not the greatest. Barrel percent, 97, meaning they don't get their barrel on the ball. Hard hit percent, 99 percentile, which means they don't hit the ball hard against him. I understand why there are some who think this is the best way for the Padres to retool a little bit. I don't. Again, I don't know the trade offers or anything like that, but we're just going to put it out in the universe in a vacuum. I don't. I cannot trade a guy who does stuff that no one else in the league does. And a guy, number one, does stuff that no one else in the league does. Number two, he wants to be a Padre. Number three, very low maintenance, does not cause any problems, just does his job and helps his teammates. These are the guys you want to keep. These are the guys you want to keep as long as possible. And with his contract, that is the reason that you can keep him. Because it's not always easy to keep guys. They go to free agency, they get a bunch of money. Thinking Adrian Morejon maybe is going to get a bunch of money in free agency. But you can't do it. You can't do it. There. My final say. You are the weakest link. I don't know. Let's see. You can watch the show right now on Facebook, 97.3 The Fan. Also, YouTube, 97.3 The Fan. At The Skraby Show, TheSkraby SHOW. And you can do that, youtube.com/@The Show. Please subscribe and like. I'm getting closer to the goal I set. Originally, Twitch, 97.3 The Fan, at Matt Skraby on Twitter, at 97.3 The Fan SD on Twitter. And then you can also go to the Odyssey app and listen that way. So appreciate everybody joining me tonight for this sort of impromptu Skraby show. Kyle says, thank you, Skraby. Exactly my thoughts. Lifelong SD Padres fan, SD born and raised, living here in the inland empire of Redlands in Doyer country, fighting the good fight always. We'll keep fighting that good fight, Kyle. I think that's really tough to be living in Doyer country. That is really tough. You know, early unofficial daily gripe, I cannot stand it when I see people wear Dodger stuff. I just can't stand it. I know you're a fan, but you know what you're doing when you wear Dodger stuff. And I saw a car with one of those Dodgers flags. And there's a car in my neighborhood who has a bumper sticker of the score bug before they won the World Series. I can say it's just a lot. It's just a lot. So thank you for fighting the good fight, Kyle. All right. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit of Ethan Salas. He is, there's some news about him today. We're going to talk a little bit about, I had the clips. I need to go over here. We're going to talk about, Morejon. Dennis Lynn was on the morning show with Ben Woods. We're going to talk about that, or we're going to hear from him about that. We'll also hear about Ethan Salas being promoted to AAA from Dennis Lynn. So stick with me. A couple more segments of the Skraby Show here on a Padres win day, 3-1 on 97.3 The Fan.
Download to see if you qualify.
All right, it's time for the Beaver Nuggets. So the story is, somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100. They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the Beaver Nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name Beaver Nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're going to eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was just say it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, I mean, it tastes like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say. I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had what is it? A Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor. It's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, "Are they cheesy?" No, they're not cheesy at all. Actually, they're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it, with dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely. I mean,
it's like caramel a little bit too. All right, I gotta stop eating these because I will eat the whole bag. I love these things. I'm gonna leave them here though because I will eat this if I go home. It's just gonna be a bunch of beaver nuggets in my bed as I sleepwalk or something like that. If you've never watched the show before on YouTube, during the commercial break, I put up a music video type of thing. Not like an actual music video, but a video with music so that people don't have the jump scare when we get back. But on StreamYard, you have to click loop for your video so that it keeps playing over and over until you turn it off. And sometimes I forget to click the loop, which means that when the video is over, then it goes back to me and I have no idea. And so I'm just like sitting there, like twirling my hair, just kind of like messing with my beard, watching TV. And then I realize it and I'm like, I didn't know I was on. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like I did anything crazy, but I need to know when I need to sit up straight. My mom would kill me if she knew I was slouching in my chair all the time. All right, Matt Skraby. Skraby Show 97.3 The Fan. Padres win today 3-1. They have won 5 games in a row. They take on the Giants tomorrow through Sunday, so 4 against the Giants. And this might be the most perfect timing for me and the Skraby Show of all time, because we went to break talking about Ethan Salas and the news on him. And I'm going to play this clip, and I think it's going to make people a little excited.
Line drive, left field down the line. Thompson over, and this is a fair ball. Salas running to second base, and he's in there with a double in his first AAA.
In his first AAA at bat, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was where was it? It was the top of the second inning. He doubles. So I was actually very surprised to see this. He, if you didn't hear the official news, he has been called up to AAA El Paso. So he makes the jump to the top league in or top level before the big leagues, and it's a very strange timing. Very, very, very strange timing. You got the trade deadline about 5 days away. You got a guy that you've been kind of careful with, and all of a sudden he's in AAA. Why this week? What does this mean? Am I overthinking? Possibly. That does happen in my life. But is there something more behind this? Is this some sort of trade showcase? I'm not really sure about the showcasing thing. I can see why the concept is, it could work, but I'm not sure if that's actually something that happens, because honestly, I mean, all these teams already know all of the different, they already have their opinions on these players. So I don't know that putting Ethan Salas in AAA just so he could be seen by more people, I don't know that that's actually a thing. Mannytron says they want to see Salas. I believe MLB TV, you can, it's MLB TV, you can go and see some of the AAA games if you are subscribed to that. Anyway, so trade showcase, I'm not into that one. I'm going to put that at the bottom of my list of reasons as to why this is happening. Is he getting closer to the big leagues? I think that obviously when you go up levels, you're getting closer to the big leagues. But what I'm saying here is his talent level getting closer to the big leagues? And I think it is. I think they're seeing that he's he's been pretty good the entire time. He's been injured, but I think they're finally seeing that, hey, this guy may be able to help us at the major league level sooner than we thought. Do I think he's going to make his debut this year? I still don't know. And I'm going to default to no. But it could happen, and I would not be mad about it. I would not be mad. I want to see what it's about. But I also don't want to bring him up too early. And, the broken confidence thing that happens when prospects debut and they don't do well. I think they're going to put him in the right spot. But what is happening here? Are they telling us that we're going to have a different look at catcher in the next couple months? I'm not sure. It's just so strange to me, the timing of everything, because you've kept this guy in your minor league system in low A, high A, double A, and it didn't seem like you're gonna put him at triple A, and then boom, you're at triple A. So it leads me to believe that we're probably going to see him sooner rather than later. Again, I don't know if it's going to be this year, but I can't see why they would elevate him to AAA and not at talk about bringing him up. It's very fun. This next couple days or 5 days is going to be very fun. Lots of stuff is going to happen, but I don't think they're going to be trading Ethan Salas. But that's all. I mean, that's really all I got on the Ethan Salas thing, because we need to get some more information as to what they're thinking with him. And so when they ask, more in-depth questions about why did you bring Ethan Salas up to AAA, we might find out some more information. I don't necessarily think we will find out more information. Jay Munoz says Campy is a liability at catcher defensively. I'm not lying about, or you're not lying about that. Chris says 90% chance Morihone gets traded with Estrada back now and Adam returning soon. We need starting pitching bad. I do think there's a very high likelihood that Adrian Morihone is traded. I do. There's some team out there that's a competitive team that has a really terrible back end of their bullpen. I don't know what the team is, but they want to take a guy, or they want to acquire a guy who could throw nearly 100 from the left-handed side, and you're going to get someone who's going to make it tough on hitters late in the game. And so if you can bring him in for the 8th inning, you can do that. If you want to bring him in to be a closer, you can try out that. But I do think that there's a higher likelihood that Adrian Morihone is traded, which would be sad. He's been here forever. Like he might even be the longest tenured Padre at this point. I wonder, did he come before Fernando? I think he probably. I could actually look this up. I do have the internet, but I'm gonna have to look this up in the break because we all know how it goes when I start looking things up during the show on the air. Let's talk about the last night appeal, then challenge, real quick, because I was talking to Adam before the show, and so if you missed it last night, the Padres. They won walk-off fashion. Xander Bogaerts hits a sac fly to center field. Jackson Merrill tags, goes home. Padres win. We walk it off. Well, it was a little strange because the Rockies wanted to appeal the play, saying that Jackson left too early, which obviously everybody knows the rules. You can't leave early. But I don't ever really see this work, so they appeal, which I do love. The old school way of the appeal process where you have to get everyone back out in the field. The pitcher has to take the ball, and then he needs to go to third base like, hey, we threw him out. We got the ball back to third base, and now he's out. It never works. It's really funny to me, actually, that they have to do the whole rigmarole. But then they go and challenge it after the appeal said that Jackson didn't leave early. And so Adam was telling me that he was talking to some people and they were giving him a hard time about he supported the Rockies in this whole thing because he thought they were just trying to do whatever they could to win a game. And I agree with him. I don't think there is anything wrong with the Rockies appealing and then challenging. I would want the Padres to do the same thing. I would want the Padres to do the same exact thing. And if they didn't, can you imagine the conversations we would have? We would be angry. Us fans would be very angry at the Padres coaching staff for not doing that. And we would probably say, what, do they not want to win? So I have no problems with that. I don't know why someone would have a problem with that. But I guess there are people who have problems with that. Okay, I saw this on the chat. Oscar says, Angels trade OMG. Let me go and see what has happened. Because if it's a big trade, let me go to MLB.com and see what they have. I don't see any news yet. So if you're Oscar, if you're seeing something, then let me know. I'm going to look in the break because I'm going to go to break anyway. And I'll see if I can find anything. Dominic says, I didn't freak out about the appeal. The challenge was a bit much. And also, why are they still allowed to challenge a call 5 minutes after it happened? That's another thing. Apparently, never mind. That is a whole nother other thing. The umpiring last night was really terrible. It was real terrible. All right, I'm going to go to break. I'm going to see if Oscar's just trying to get me to talk about something that's not actually true. But I just got a name, so I'm going to go look at this. On the other side, I will see what happened with the Angels and the trade and all that stuff on the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan.
Quinn and Chris.
A pretty good trade, I gotta say. Pretty surprised at this one. So trade season has officially begun. The trade that took place is kind of strange, honestly, because it's an in division trade. So Jeff Passan tweeted, trade news, the Texas Rangers are acquiring right-handed reliever Chase Silseth and catcher Logan O'Hoppe from the Angels. Logan O'Hoppe has been a guy that people have talked about as one of the next good catchers. I can't say great, but good catchers. So he's going to the Rangers with Chase Silseth. There's no news on the return yet, but I guess that might be because it's like prospects or something like that. Logan O'Hoppe so far this year hitting 209, so not the greatest average in the world. He is also struggling with the power. He's got four home runs this year, I should say. Now, previously in his career, he's been a little bit better than that. So he's having a tough year. And I don't know if the Angels are unloading him. But in 2023, he hit 14 home runs. 2024, 20 home runs. Last year, 19 home runs. So he's a good catcher. And the Rangers have looked for a catcher for a while now. I know that they've been struggling with their catcher position. Sounds like the Padres a little bit. But yeah, that was the trade that went down, and it was a decent trade. Logan Hoppe's a name. He also is under control for 2 more years of arbitration. So that's what the Rangers are buying into as well. They really say that Logan O'Hoppe is just a guy who you're gonna put behind the plate and just leave him there for a long, long, long time. That's the type of catcher he is. I remember when I went up to the Angels game when the Padres played them earlier this year. It was the same game that Jake Cronenworth got hit in the face by that pitch. I will tell you, I will never forget the sound of that. It was pretty wild how that sounded when it hit Jake Cronenworth in the face. But Logan O'Hoppe also took like a ball. I think it bounced off the ground and hit him right in the throat. That was tough to watch. That was really tough to watch. But it was all good and everything's fine. So he is now a Texas Ranger. All right. Let's talk about, let's talk a little bit about the Manny and the media yesterday. And, we played this, and I wasn't like upset by it or anything like that, but I do think it's kind of interesting. I wanted to play Dennis Lynn. I will play Dennis Lynn at some point. All right. Sorry, everyone. I'm getting things situated. I clicked off of it. Okay, so Manny yesterday before the game was with the media, and here is the question that he was asked, and here is his answer.
You guys are top 3 over the last 15 days in home runs, OPS. Like, what's kind of clicked for the offense?
Not sure. I mean, you guys have been writing about it all year, so what has been clicking for us?
I mean, you hit some long balls on this road trip as well.
Okay, so very, very, very short. We're going to just go back to his response for a second.
Not sure. I mean, you guys have been writing about it all year, so what has been clicking for us?
I think this is... I don't think this is Manny being malicious whatsoever. I don't think this is Manny being, like, really actually angry at the media. Manny seems like a pretty smart guy. Deep down, he knows that what people are writing is the truth, I think. And so I don't have a problem with him taking this shot because now things are going well. Manny's feeling good about himself. Manny's back on track. This is the Manny I think we want. And I don't think that he is being malicious. I don't think that he is attacking the media for this. I don't think he's attacking the media here. All I think that he's doing is creating some sort of chip on his shoulder. And that's fine. That's fine. Like, there were no lies told. The media was writing negative things about the offense. And now they're a top 3 hitting team, top 10 hitting team in baseball. So there were no lies there. There were no lies there. And so I'm not like upset at Manny. I saw people saying he's such a jerk and this is why he shouldn't be the leader of a team. And I am okay with players making fair comments about something that they don't like. And this is the Manny that is probably the best Manny for us. The guy with the chip on his shoulder, the guy who, when it's going the worst in his career, he still says, I'm going to be great. Even though no one sees it, the whole team, no one saw it. This is the Manny that we need. So I'm really happy about that. Seeing that Manny is now feeling himself and creating a little bit of a chip, putting a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. So I don't necessarily think at all like Manny was being mean like I saw online. It's just I think maybe we need to be a little bit less soft. And by the way, he wasn't talking about any of you. He was talking about the media. So I want to also contrast it with this. So Xander Bogaerts last night interviewed with Sam. I'm going to play the entire interview with Xander. So if you missed it last night, you can hear it. But then we'll talk about how Xander handled it versus how Manny handled it. And I am not pitting them against each other, I promise.
Xander, what a ball game. This was back and forth all night long. What did it take to win this one?
I mean, we had a lot of will. We know where we are. It's not probably the position that we envision ourselves as spring training started, but we're still in it. We're giving ourselves a chance each and every day. Winning ball games. We stack up a couple wins. That'll be huge. So we had a nice couple days in Miami, and then a nice start here at home.
Speaking of that series in Miami and here tonight, you guys just keep finding ways to win, really no matter what, the last 5 days. How would you describe the way this team is playing right now?
Yeah, I feel like we're clicking on all cylinders. We're throwing, we're hitting, especially hitting. Got to work on my defense a little bit. It's been a little shaky these last couple weeks, but I'm thankful enough I got another chance there towards the end, and I mean it was good to help the team out for sure.
You alluded to the defense, that play in the 8th inning. As you came to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning, were you thinking about that you had to atone for what happened in the 8th?
I mean, I felt like I wanted another chance. I mean, I really messed that up for Adrian right there. I don't miss a lot of those balls. I mean, if I get 10 more of those, I'll probably make all 10. So happy to get another chance and get the W for the team. Yeah.
Xander, finally, trade deadline looming. No secret, it's a big week for this ball club. How do you view this week and the opportunity this team has in front of itself?
They play me to play shortstop. And help other teams. So I think AJ and his people and his staff, his scouts, his guys.
All right, so we got the part in the ends after that question, but Xander Bogaerts after the game last night with our guy Sammy Levitt, after Xander hit a walk-off, or not hit a walk-off, he sacrificed fly for the walk-off, scoring Jackson Merrill, and the Padres are now on the 5-game win streak train. Jay Munoz says, seems like he's talking about Manny. Seems like he's soft. Like, dude, you can't go over 12 at the end of the playoffs last year, then start first half season batting 180 and expect not to be talked about. It's not always roses and chocolates, but Manny is balling right now for sure, and I'm here for that. I think we all are. But like, I'm not saying that I know Manny Machado, but I've spent enough time around Manny Machado, and I've heard some conversations between Tony and Manny to know that Manny knows that the media's role is to report. And again, I think this was just kind of a chip on his shoulder, because I really can't believe that Manny would think, hey, they needed to write positive stuff about me because we were doing positive things. I just don't believe that. So I think it was more in jest than anything. He did say it again later. He said, well, we write negative things, or you guys write negative things. That's fine. That's fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But when you hear from Xander, I think Xander is a different personality altogether. Xander kind of understands where he's at in his career, I think. Xander knows that he's struggling. And Xander knows that he struggled last night defensively. And so he's going to come out in a different way. And that's exactly why there's so many different personalities in this clubhouse. Because Xander's going to come at it like, hey, I really needed to make it up to Adrian. I needed to get that done. And I know I messed up. So Xander knows that if he were to stand there and he were to be like, I don't know, you guys just keep writing negative stuff about me, and then I go walk it off, and now you want to talk to me, he knows that would not be the right move. And I don't think that Xander Bogaerts would be doing that. So, again, I think that everybody in that clubhouse deals with the media in a different way, and everybody knows that Manny's a little prickly. When you ask him questions that he might be annoyed by, he's going to let you know. And I think that's okay to a certain extent. Now, if you're doing it all the time and you have a poor relationship with the media, and you're yelling at them all the time and all that stuff, that's a whole different thing. But I think the discourse between the media and Manny is not to the point where we're talking about like, oh man, Manny's got an issue. He needs to work on that. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. I didn't say this earlier, but I have a daily gripe tonight, and it makes me really angry. Really, really, really angry. And I think everybody's going to agree with me on how angry they are or were. All right, we got a couple minutes before the daily gripe. So I don't know if anybody has seen. I'm sure a lot of people have seen. Now, we've been talking a lot about privacy, like personal privacy, whether or not Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, which, by the way, I've been thinking about that a lot. It is extremely suspicious to me that the report from the police said that the driver who caused the crash was the other driver, not Kyle Shanahan. So how often does a clerical error like this happen? So I don't know that they're doing anything wrong, but it is a little fishy to me. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not going to just shy away from it because it's my favorite team. I want them to be responsible. I want the 49ers to, be a good organization and not one of these cheating organizations. But it is a little strange that it was a clerical error, and then Kyle Shanahan had to come out and say that it was his fault and all of that stuff. So anyway, but we've been talking about privacy, and Tony Romo's DUI video, or OWI, operating while intoxicated. The body cam video came out, and as someone who is a recovering alcoholic and who has been embarrassed more times than I can count in my life, this was real hard to watch. This was real hard to watch because he's clearly intoxicated. He's clearly, I don't even know if he's in the same universe. I don't even know if he's like living on the same earth in this moment, but the whole video is so embarrassing for him. And in this case, you would think, I think you shouldn't release these videos. This is his private. But when you're doing something like this, when you're drinking and driving in the middle of the day, like 5 p.m. wherever Milwaukee, and you're just not making any sense. You're not making any sense at all. That's a really terrible look. And I don't know if Tony Romo has an alcohol issue or not, but I have to believe, I don't think he should be fired for this per se, maybe suspended and have to do some other things. But like, I would think CBS is maybe sort of kind of looking through that contract to see if they can get out of it, because there have been rumors of buyer's remorse of paying Tony Romo so much. So if you haven't seen the video, it is everywhere, but it is it's just so hard to watch. Dom says the amount of give a bleep over the Kyle Shanahan story is very, very, very low. Thank you for saying that, because it seems like Kyle Shanahan is at everyone in the entire country attacking him.
What's annoying Skraby today? Let's find out. It's time for the Daily Gripe.
Done that several times today where I start talking and I didn't turn on my microphone. All right, so Voice of San Diego, our podcast tomorrow. I'm not on the podcast, but I produce it. They're going to be talking about this story, and it really bothers me. And I'm sure everybody's seen it. But the video of the kid that is kicking the seal in La Jolla really angers me. Like, to the point where I really hope they find this person. And I really, really, really hope that person is punished appropriately for this. Because you have to be a demented person. You have to be I'll just stay with demented. You have to be someone that is evil to walk up to a seal and kick it. Like, kick it. Like, what? I want to say so many swear words right now. Everybody knows I love animals, but I don't understand the obsession with trying to get these seals, touch these seals, throw things at these seals. Like, any person that does this really, really, really needs to be put in some sort of jail. Because it is ridiculous that this kid kicked this seal. And it's on video. And the people cheering in the video are happy about this. All you kids that did this, you got some real issues, okay? You got some issues, and you might be in prison later on in life, because if you're thinking it's funny to film and kick a seal, then we're gonna be seeing you in prison, okay? Okay? Rod says go to seal jail. I don't care where they go, as long as they're going to jail. Cole says, oh, I can't read that. Anyway, yeah, that really, 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 really bothered me. Like, more so than I've ever been bothered by a video like that before. To the point where I watch weird videos all the time, like car crashes and things like that. I can't even watch it. I can't even watch it. Because I feel so bad for that seal. And I know people are like, dude, it's just an animal. The reason I feel worse for animals than humans is because animals they don't understand why you're kicking it in the face. If you kicked a human in the face, I would be like, well, I hope that human punched you back. But the animal gets kicked and it's like, why did you kick me? It's really messed up. I'm gonna have to stop this because Dom makes a very good he makes a very good point. Most serial killers have a history of torturing animals. I know. First thing I thought of. So please, if you're listening and you care about animals, let's make sure that something actually happens here. Let's make sure that there is some sort of repercussion for kicking a seal. All right. That's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me on the Skraby Show tonight for this impromptu Skraby Show. I will say, I will end with the news that former radio legend here in town and former Charger, Billy Ray Smith, has passed away at the age of 64. That was announced maybe a couple hours ago. And so it's keep his family in your thoughts and feel very bad for his family and he's very young. I didn't actually ever meet him or talk to him, so I don't have any personal experience with him, but he's someone who paved the way in San Diego radio for a very, very long time. So rest in peace to him, and I hope his family is doing okay tonight. So with that, I will leave you until tomorrow. They have the roundtable at 9 a.m.
Hey,